My goodness, guys. My goodness. Can we give a round of applause for this pay-per-view? Because this, honestly, in my honest opinion, my honest, humble opinion, was way better than WrestleMania, okay? Let's start with the crowd, okay? The crowd continues to show out for Backlash every single year. For the past 3 years, we got Puerto Rico, France, and now St. Louis. They all showed up and showed out, man. So I gotta give props to the crowd. That's number one. Way better than the last pay-per-view, WrestleMania. Way better than that crowd, somehow. Okay, that's number one. Number two, even though the matches build-ups were not as good as the WrestleMania ones, it goes to show that matches could still do really freaking good without any build-up to them, without any storyline per se. You know? Because every match I feel like delivered beyond expectations, especially my expectations personally. Every match did that for me. Even with the 2-week, 3-week build-up that they got. They made use of the match, and they proved everyone wrong that this pay-per-view was going to be a bad one. Now, granted, it was a filler pay-per-view, okay? But at the end of the day, the atmosphere, the matches made up for it big time, alright? It was a fun filler. It wasn't a must-watch filler, but it was a fun filler pay-per-view with a amazing main event, amazing mid-card, amazing opening match. Everything about it was awesome, okay? Honestly, dare I say it, this was probably my favorite WWE pay-per-view of the year so far. Out of Royal Rumble, out of Elimination Chamber, out of Saturday Night main event, out of WrestleMania, this was my favorite one. And let's get into why I think this way, okay? Starting with the opening match. We had Jacob Fatu, who defended his title against Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight, okay? Now, I was shocked that this one actually opened the match, okay? I was shocked. Oh my goodness, was this an opening match and a half, okay? Every guy in this match put on an amazing show of work. They really did. They really did. This was the only match that kind of had a storyline leading from WrestleMania into Backlash. And every man just had a mission out there. Every man felt important. Every moment had this vibe to it that every man like just contributed to. You know what I mean? Now, granted, the start of this match, it was mainly just two guys fighting in the ring, two guys fighting out. Like the typical Fatal 4-Way match. But towards the end, it got really, really good, in my opinion. Not the best match of the night, but it got really good. I mean, we had LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. They're beefing from WrestleMania. Then Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, they're beefing from WrestleMania. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre eventually go to the outside into the crowd. Damian Priest eventually hits a South of Heaven on Drew McIntyre onto, like, 2 tables on the outside, which was freaking crazy. Then we had LA Knight and Jacob Fatu fighting in the ring, and they were just going at it like WrestleMania 41 Part 2. It was crazy. And then eventually LA Knight was going to hit Jacob Fatu with an elbow through the announce table from the second rope on the ring, which I was going to be like, oh hell no, no way he's making that. And then Solo Sikoa actually drags Jacob Fatu off of the announce table, and then when LA Knight goes to attack Solo Sikoa, a new member of the New Bloodline appears, guys. Alright, the New Bloodline storyline is not done just yet, okay? Just like the infamous Tonga Loa debut from last year at Backlash, we got another one in Jeff Cobb, okay? Now, I don't know much about this guy. I don't watch any of his matches. I don't watch any of the anything that he's in, so I don't know anything about this guy. But he looks cool. He looks strong, and he looks like the perfect opponent for Jacob Fatu down the line. But anyways, the point is, they helped Jacob Fatu win and retain the US title, and it looks like Jacob Fatu didn't know this was going to happen, which I feel like is going to be a storyline, which again leads into the summer with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu feuding for the US title. This is what I feel like it's going to lead into, just like I mentioned. Jacob Fatu pinned LA Knight for the US Championship, while Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are like knocked out cold, you know, on the outside. It was an amazing match. It was action every second, everywhere you look, there was action somewhere. Whether it was like a suplex on the outside of the ring, whether it was a suplex inside the ring, whatever it was, okay? It had everything a Fatal 4-Way would have. Although I would have liked the start to be a little faster. But like the fact that these 4 beefy men put on this kind of show just goes to show, you know? So yeah, Jacob Fatu defeated LA Knight, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre retained the title. Where I think this is going to head, I don't think Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are done feuding. Obviously, they still have this hatred for each other that is unmatched. I mean, they went outside of the crowd. They forgot all about the US title and Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, and they just wanted to fight each other. like a Street Fight Part 2 from WrestleMania 41. So I don't think Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest are done fighting. Drew McIntyre obviously 100% deserves another US title run. He deserves any title run, to be honest. Like absolutely, like for sure. I mean, he didn't even get a real title run when he won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania because the guy who he's feuding with right now, Damian Priest, trashed in on him, and you know where that went, right? So look, as for Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, I could 100% see LA Knight moving on from the US title scene and focusing on the World Championship scene. Like, I'm talking 2025 Money in the Bank winner. That's where I'm looking at for LA Knight, for the future of him. And then obviously Jacob Fatu, I could see him feuding with Solo Sikoa and eventually Jeff Cobb, who I feel like just looks like he could put on an amazing match with Jacob Fatu. I don't know if they have put on a match in the Indies in the past, but what I know for right now is that, you know, this is like prime setup for Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa or Jeff Cobb or Toma Tonga or, of course, the infamous Tonga Loa. You know, there's just so many ways Jacob Fatu and the new bloodline can go. And I think the storyline that they're going with right now is that Solo Sikoa thinks Jacob Fatu can't win on his own, and that's going to eventually lead to Jacob Fatu turning on the new bloodline because they keep getting in his business, they keep annoying him, and he just goes berserk on Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb and whoever else gets in his way. Anyways, an amazing start to the Backlash pay-per-view. Next up, we have another, honestly, show stealer in my opinion, in Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. This was a very technical wrestling match, okay? Lyra Valkyria was a very technical wrestler in this match, okay? And you could feel the hatred that Lyra and Becky had for each other in this match, okay? I mean, they were throwing punches. I think Lyra even broke her nose at some point in the match. Like, you could feel the hatred that they had for each other going into this match. And I said in my Backlash predictions that, you know, they had great promo chemistry with each other, and I wouldn't be surprised if that leads to great in-ring chemistry with each other. And lo and behold, yes, it did. Like, this far exceeded my expectations. I didn't think this was going to be the best match of the night in the slightest, but it absolutely over-delivered in the best way possible. I know people wanted Bayley to interfere in the match and cost Becky Lynch her opportunity, and I was kind of right in the sense that Bayley didn't appear in the match, but I also expected Becky Lynch to win, to kind of assert herself as a dangerous heel for Lyra to overcome in the future. That didn't happen. Lyra actually won with a little roll-up there, which obviously pissed Becky Lynch off, which makes me assume that this feud is far from over. And as I said before, I think this feud is going to eventually lead to Bayley, Becky Lynch, and Lyra fighting it out for the IC title eventually. I still think it's going to extend throughout the summer. That's where my guess is for all these women. But yeah, an amazing match. Becky Lynch is an amazing heel right now. I love the work she's doing. And Lyra is like a star, okay? From the promo work to the wrestling to the acting. I mean, she has it all. Like, I expect her to be here for a while, okay? So yeah, I think Lyra, Becky, and eventually Bayley are going to be in the women's IC title scene. I could see it leaking into a SummerSlam, you know, Night of Champions that just got announced, whatever it may be. But yeah, this was a very good match. The best match in my opinion, for sure. You know, Becky Lynch did the casual heel stuff, showing a beaten Lyra, you know, in front of her fiance. It was just a great match the whole time. The whole time was a great match. I got excited for it. I got excited for what's next for them. Yeah, so yeah, again, this was the best match of the pay-per-view in my opinion. Next up, we got Penta versus Dominic Mysterio, which honestly, in my opinion, was the worst match of the night. I mean, this could have happened on a random Monday Night Raw main event. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for the IC title could happen on like the Monday Night Raw in mid-May. Like, just some random Monday Night Raw main event. It had the usual Judgment Day shenanigans. It had the usual interferences in favor of Dominic Mysterio on the Judgment Day. I didn't really enjoy this match. It had some cool moments like the Tornado DDT from Dominic Mysterio onto ringside. We had the I think it was a Canadian Destroyer or something on the ring, the side of the ring, you know. So this match had its moments for sure. Obviously, whenever Dominic Mysterio, who is a very underrated solos wrestler, and Penta are in the ring together, it's going to be some good chemistry. We saw that chemistry in WrestleMania. We saw it here now. I wasn't expecting this match to be bad whatsoever, and it wasn't. But it was just the worst out of all the matches on the card. And look, I don't know. I feel like Dominic Mysterio, like, I don't really even know what to say about this match. It's literally just a Monday Night Raw main event, you know? I think Penta's done with the IC title scene for now. Again, I don't think he's going to never win that title. I think he's going to eventually pair up with his Lucha Bro and Rey Fenix eventually, because the draft's coming up. I could see them getting drafted to the same brand, and they go off as the next greatest tag team in WWE. As for Dominic Mysterio, I could see him feuding with AJ Styles next, and that eventually leads to a Finn Balor turn on Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day as a whole. That's where I feel like they're going to lead to with this whole AJ Styles wants next. And AJ Styles calling Finn Balor Prince, which is his real name. So yeah, I could 100% see Dominic Mysterio feuding with AJ Styles, and then eventually that leads to Finn Balor. But yeah, this was just, again, a interference-ridden match that didn't really serve any purpose. It did show that Penta is, again, he can never lose just cleanly, right? There's always an interference for Penta. This time in El Grande Americano, which I actually think Penta's going to feud with first before reuniting with Rey Fenix. Penta, I could see that leading to Penta versus El Grande Americano mask versus mask fight. But yeah, it was a very, okay, it is the absolute epitome of an okay match on a pay-per-view that got probably put into it last minute. There was really, I don't know, I wasn't really excited for this match. But yeah, again, it was an okay match. It has its moments. It did. The El Grande interference was a bit weird, but at the end of the day, I feel like that's what Penta's feuding with first. He's going to probably feud with El Grande over the summer, and most likely lead to a mask versus mask fight. But yeah. Next up, we got Pat McAfee versus Gunther. A lot of us thought this was going to be a squash match, myself included. But no, this was actually more enjoyable. I know I said it was in WWE's best interest to make this a squash match, to make Gunther look strong, but WWE made this match interesting and different in a way where it still made Gunther look menacing, it still made Gunther look strong, it still made Gunther look like the best heel in the business without undermining Pat McAfee's in-ring skills and wrestling skills. I actually like this match better than if it were to be a squash match, because we actually got some fight in Pat McAfee. We had Michael Cole involved. I actually thought Wade Barrett was going to be involved in that eventually as well. Of course that didn't happen, but no, this match I feel like was amazing. Okay, we had Pat McAfee, who obviously was way weaker than Gunther was, but he was still fighting back. He was giving everything he can to prove everyone wrong, to prove Gunther wrong. And we had Michael Cole on commentary yelling at Gunther, telling him to stop, this is outrageous, I'm biased against Gunther. Michael Cole was legitimately, he was pissed. He was fuming that his best friend was getting beaten on by Gunther, and he knew he couldn't do anything about it. He knew that Pat McAfee would never quit. He knew that Pat McAfee would give it everything he had to beat Gunther, and that he did. But in the end of the day, Pat got absolutely destroyed because of it, because Pat never gave up. And the distractions between Michael Cole and Gunther allowed Pat McAfee to gain the advantage for a little bit, catch Gunther by surprise. The fans, the atmosphere in this match was incredible. I absolutely love the fans. They added so much to this match as well, with Pat being the underdog, trying to take down the big guy in Gunther. Yeah, I thought Goldberg was going to appear at the end of this match as well to stop Gunther from beating on Pat McAfee, but Goldberg didn't appear. I still think he's going to appear and attack Gunther eventually, because what's next for Gunther? What is next for Gunther? I genuinely have no idea what WWE are going to do with Gunther now that he defeated Pat McAfee. I know sure as hell it's not going to be Michael Cole. I could see a world where it could be Wade Barrett, who eventually, gets in the way of Gunther after he once again attacks Pat McAfee or Michael Cole or whoever it may be. But I feel like Pat just goes back to commentary. But yeah, nah, Gunther, I have no idea. I'm hoping it's a Goldberg feud. That starts up. It could also be a Rusev feud. I know Rusev's not doing anything right now, and his character would go well with Gunther. So yeah, there's a lot of different directions WWE could take Gunther in. I don't know what the best one would be, but I'm looking forward to it. Again, this was a great match. I loved it. Obviously, it wasn't a 10-star, 5-star classic. It never would be. I mean, this is Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Okay, but for what it's worth, it exceeded my expectations and beyond, and I really enjoyed this match. Finally, we have the main event featuring Randy Orton versus John Cena one last time for the undisputed WWE Championship. Oh my goodness, okay? My bad for ever saying John Cena can't wrestle anymore, okay? I should have never said that, because these two put on an absolute clinic. Admittedly, the match at the start was slow, but like the match picked up once they got to ringside, and I really enjoyed their match. I feel like any match that Randy Orton and John Cena have will be great, obviously. You know, I mean, they have great in-ring chemistry that's like unheard of nowadays. Again, like, it's one of those matches where like nothing is really can match it. Like nothing ever would be able to top like just the vibe of this match, between the atmosphere, between the real hatred between these two characters who's been beefing for 20 years. Everything about this match from beginning to end was fantastic, in my opinion. I mean, these refs were taking bumps left and right to allow Randy Orton and John Cena to go into like this street fight, no holds barred match, which I kind of was petitioning for this official match. But the fact that the referees got knocked out because of how much John Cena and Randy Orton hated each other just made this match way more better, like way better than just a regular stipulation match. I love the callbacks, you know, when John Cena was doing his little, you know, tackles along the ropes and Randy Orton countered him with the RKO, or when John Cena hit the AA and Randy Orton countered him with the RKO, kind of like in Hell in the Cell back in like 2009 or something like that. Like, again, this was an amazing, like far exceeded my expectations. Again, it's not the best match of the night. It's not the best, and it's obvious that these two have some like they're not as good as they used to be, but that's to be expected. I'm so glad Travis Scott didn't come out. And look, I know a lot of people are going to shit on R-Truth for coming out and protecting John Cena, but you gotta think logically here. John Cena is his childhood hero, and John Cena was about to lose the title to Randy Orton, who's using a banned move, I believe, in the punt kick. So R-Truth came out, helped John Cena, took an RKO for John Cena. And, you know, Nick Aldis took another RKO when he was checking up on the ref. So that's another fine as well. Yeah, dude, I love this match. Like, Randy Orton hit a few AAs on John Cena on the announce table, on an actual table. John Cena was about to punt Randy Orton. Just loved it. Like, genuinely, I love this match. Great main event. St. Louis really brought it. Like, this atmosphere during this final match between the two was amazing. Like, I'm sure Randy Orton and John Cena couldn't have asked for a better atmosphere in St. Louis. So I want to give them props for that as well. But yeah, like, what's next for these? I think John Cena. If you saw John Cena at the presser event, we actually had R-Truth interfere, or like kind of like walk into the room when John Cena was doing his presser. And John Cena actually got annoyed by him and AA'd R-Truth onto the table and broke it. This makes me believe that John Cena, believe it or not, whether you guys like it or not, I think this is going to happen. This makes me believe that John Cena is going to feud with R-Truth next for the undisputed WWE Championship. I know, it's hard to believe, but like, I genuinely think that this is going to lead to a John Cena versus R-Truth match in some form, whether it's on a pay-per-view, whether it's on a SmackDown. I think this is going to lead to R-Truth versus John Cena feud for the top of the food chain title, the WWE Championship, which I actually freaking love. If you know their history, like, they go back they go way back. They go way back. I mean, R-Truth was champion at some point when John Cena challenged him. It goes way back, like even like the Awesome Truth for The Rock and John Cena. That happened at Survivor Series, believe it or not. So yeah, like these guys have a lot of history. I could see John Cena feuding with R-Truth next, which will be absolutely amazing, whether you guys like it or not. I freaking love it. As for Randy Orton, a lot of different ways this can go. I think at the end of the day, the best route for Randy Orton to go at this moment is to challenge Nick Aldis at a match for SummerSlam, or Nick Aldis challenges Randy Orton for a match. Maybe Randy Orton like keeps RKOing Nick Aldis, and that eventually leads to Nick Aldis being like, all right, you know what, let's settle this. Let's have a match at SummerSlam or something like that. I could see that happening. But yeah, dude, this match was an amazing main event. Not the best match of the night in ring wise, but like storytelling wise, and just like the fact that this is the final time these two will go at it, just makes this match just special. It makes this match special. If you guys enjoyed this review of Backlash, please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.